including women and children. It becomes even worse when parents die, leaving children orphaned. Some of them take up the daunting task of heading homes. Some left in the care of aging relatives in desperate situations. This orphan allowance program is therefore not only timely, but necessary. It provides immediate relief to those most affected.
On his part, Executive Advisor for the Muslim World League, Sheikh Walid Rashid El Saadi, said the league is providing educational support, shelter and clothing to Malawian orphans through the Orphan Allowance Program.
This program started 25 years ago. The children are more important for us. They are the leaders of tomorrow. And in the vulnerable families, especially the orphans, where mother alone cannot take that responsibility, we as Muslim World League, under our leadership, the leader, the minister, Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Isa, he is the Secretary General of Muslim World League. He's the father of orphans all over Africa. This is why we have 100,000 orphans in Africa that we serve. Like you see today, we're serving them to have education, food, a good life, better life, because they are the future leaders of tomorrow.
Meanwhile, the league has named the First Lady as its patron in Malawi. Maim Tumodzi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Meanwhile, the First Lady, Madam Professor Gertrude Mutharika, has held the Muslim World League for partnering Beautify Malawi Trust BIM in the implementation of livelihood and hygiene promotion interventions in the country. Madam Mutharika made the remarks at Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe when she received a check amounting to 25 million kwacha from the Muslim World League. Madam Mutharika said the partnership that has been established with the Muslim World League is crucial in the realization of BIM's program under its 2026-2030 strategic plan, scheduled to be launched on February 27. More in this report by Doreen Sonani.
After presiding over the launch of the Orphan Allowance Program 2026 by the Muslim World League, the First Lady is holding discussions with officials from the organization who are here at Kamuzu Palace to present a check worth 25 million kwacha to the First Lady's Beautify Malawi Trust to support its programs. Speaking after receiving the check, Madam Professor Mutharika said the partnership that has been established with the Muslim World League is crucial in the realization of BIM's programs under its 2026-2030 strategic plan. The First Lady said she was encouraged to note that the Muslim World League has the passion to save the underprivileged and reach out to different communities with the much-needed health support to improve their lives.
We have, in our discussion, we have talked so much that shows that, our goal is to save the people, to save our people. And we have talked about the mobile clinic, we have talked about the doctors for heart repairs. So much has been discussed. And what we are thinking, or what we have been thinking, has been enhanced by the discussion we have had.
For his part, Executive Advisor for the Muslim World League African Region, Sheikh Walid Rashid El Saadi, said the organization is committed to supporting BIM in saving a girl child, promoting their education, health and general hygiene across different institutions in the country.
We came today to present this gift to the First Lady organization or foundation to serve, who's serving actually the woman and child. And that small token of relationship and partnership with the organization of the First Lady, for us from here to start our different project, which is her dream, actually her excellency dream, to serve the girls, child girls, who pregnancy in the school, hygiene, And not only that, education is the most important.
BIM trustee Dingiswayo Jere said the support will largely help BIM to kickstart its operations under its new strategic plan set to be launched.
There are several projects that we are intending to run and implement in our 5-year strategic plan that is running from 2026 to 2030. And the key on that is how best we can improve hygiene and sanitation in our hospitals. So the donation that has come today of 25 million is going to give us a better push on that. Because we've been running those projects, but we needed more partners to come on board. And the coming in of the Muslim World League to partner with Beautify Malawi is something that we say it is God-given so that we can push to improve the welfare of Malawians on the ground.
Among others, Beautify Malawi Trust will be working with the Ministry of Health to identify crucial areas of support in terms of promoting hygiene in the country's hospitals as part of interventions under the support from the Muslim World League. Doreen Sonani, MBC News, Lirongwe.
Government says it is committed to working with traditional leaders for enhanced socio-economic development of the country. Minister of Transport Japi Mhango made the remarks when he joined people from Mlowe in Lero Cultural Festival, where people from Mlowe and the surrounding areas celebrated installation of traditional authority Mlowe of Rumpi. Hassan P. reports.
Minister of Transport Japi Mhango said he thought it wise to join the people from Malawi in Chipikiriro celebrations to appreciate the role traditional leaders play in spearheading development in the country. He has since assured people from Malawi that the government of Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will help in developing the area, including improving the road network, which is a major challenge for the area.
Government will ensure that that road is improved. Not today or tomorrow, because the fiscus is very, very narrow. Government does not have the money because the previous regime mismanaged the economy to the extent that today, as a government, we are struggling to provide services to our people. But because we have got a very able leader in His Excellency Professor Mutharika, we are assured that the economy is going to improve. And once the economy improves, there will be space in the fiscus that will enable us to start doing developmental projects. At that point, the road from M1 going to Mlowe will also be considered.
Traditional authority Kachipapa Mwamulowe was installed in December last year. Several dignitaries, including traditional leaders from other parts of the country, DPP Deputy Director of Operations Boniface Kashorolo, and other government officials also attended the celebrations. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Rumpi.
Authorities at Mangochi District Education Office have assured communities around Group Village Headman Nalikolo in Malombe of timely reopening of Nalikolo Primary School after floods forced suspension of classes last month. Director of Education, Youth and Sports in the district, MacDonald Kuse, told MBC that the council is working to put up structures at the new site where the school will be relocated. Francis Banda has filed this report read by Owen Mavula.
As the second term of the 2025-2026 academic year goes into 6th week, learners at Nalikolo Primary School in the area of Village Headman Nalikolo in Mangochi District have now spent almost 5 weeks without learning. This follows directive by the district's education office to suspend classes as a precaution after flooding water from Lingamasa River submerged all roads leading to the school, rendering it inaccessible. Classes for Standard 1 to Standard 7 were suspended outright on Tuesday, January 13, 2026. Speaking in an interview with MBC, Director of Education, Youth and Sports for the district, MacDonald Kuse, said his office, in collaboration with the district's commissioner's office, is working tirelessly to ensure that the school is reopened in order to protect young girls from early marriages.
It is true that we have a problem with the Nalikolo Primary School in Malombe zone. Actually, I would give you a background to this. this school is surrounded by Lake Marombe on the other side. And then some 2-3 years ago, we also had a challenge because this area was affected by the two cyclones, Cyclone Freddy and Cyclone Anna. Now, these two cyclones, they created a river on the other side of the school, rendering the school unfunctional, rendering the school an island. So this now, when we have heavy rains, we have some challenges with our students to access the land of the primary to get their education.
In his remarks, Group Village Headman Nalikolo in the area of Senior Chief Joe said the suspension of the classes have affected over 1,200 pupils from 7 villages around his area and fears that the number of those who will return to school after its reopening may go down due to early marriages and fishing activities in case of further delay.
Our request to government is to help us with tents for our children to resume classes as we wait for the permanent school blocks. We also ask authorities to sink a borehole at the new school site for our learners to have potable water.
Ward Councillor for Maiwa area, Jawadu Kapoka, said in collaboration with Member of Parliament for the area, Kazembe Wilson Ngunga, will ensure that pupils in the area access quality education to complement government's effort in making education accessible for all.
The problem which has befallen us here is huge. We call upon all stakeholders to partner with government to assist us quickly.
Currently, only Standard 8 learners are attending classes at the school as they prepare to sit for their 2026 Manebe exams.
This is MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. First Lady, Madam Professor Gertrude Mutarika, launches the Muslim World League Orphan Allowance Program, describing it as timely and necessary. Government reaffirms its commitment to working with traditional leaders for enhanced socio-economic development of the country. And in sports, Netball Association of Malawi appoints New Zealand coach Debbie Fuller as a high-performance consultant for the Malawi national netball team. Welcome back. In business news, Speed Courier and Nyasa Express have signed a memorandum of understanding to start sending parcels via air express between Lero and Blantyre. According to the two companies, the service is expected to commence on the 14th of this month. Details in this report by Zomwe.
Managing Director for Nyasa Express, Sitone Daut, explained that their 3 planes will be used to transport the parcels, with each aircraft carrying up to 400 kilograms of cargo. He added that the service will be available twice a week between the two cities.
It's one of the things that hasn't been delivered before in Malawi. You know, I've experienced in other countries where moving freight around with small planes is very, very popular. So we have lots of rules around what can and can't go on the plane, how it has to be packaged, all of those things. And Speed Courier, as our partner, manages that side of it. They bring the goods to us in the manner that we ask for it to be brought, so everything can be safely taken to their destination.
Operations Director at Speed Courier, Taha Malik, said the initiative aims to improve parcel delivery and collection services by significantly reducing delivery time. He further disclosed that the company plans to expand the service to other parts of the country, including Likoma and Mzuzu, as well as other countries such as Zambia.
The dream of Speed has always been to become international, and we are doing that very soon. With our offices opening in Zambia this year around, we want to connect Zambia and Malawi first, and we are in talks with Nyasa. We might be doing a South Africa route coming June.
Of late, Malawi has experienced an increase in courier companies culminating into the growth of the industry, making it easier for people to send and receive parcels. Lonjezon Sodoka, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Islamic Health Association of Malawi, IHAM, says having specialists and adequate resources in health sector has the potential of serving the country's expenditure on patients that seek medical care abroad. Executive Director of IHAM, Haj Dayton, said this at Mzuzu Central Hospital after the 5-day urological survey camp, which was organized in conjunction with Malawi government. Rodoviko Nyirenda has more in this report.
Speaking with MBC after the 5-day urological surgery camp, which was organized in conjunction with Malawi government, Executive Director for IHAM, Haj Dayton, said seeing that many Malawians cannot afford going abroad to seek medical attention, the association thought of voluntarily hiring the urological specialist under physicians across continent organization to save lives of Malawians who have such health problems. Dayton said seeking medical attention outside the country is expensive, adding that having specialists and adequate resources in health facilities can help to solve the situation.
Yeah, definitely it means the government is saving, to be able to save resources or to allocate those limited resources to the deserving patients. As for the ones that have already managed to receive the care with the visiting specialist and the local specialist during the camp days, that is at least something that we can say is done as for now. So for the others, definitely the government will allocate resources for those other remaining ones. So on the baseline, the government has saved resources.
The Deputy Director of Mzuzu Central Hospital, Dr. Wiseman Piri, said the development has helped them to share experience.
Quite very important for us. As you know, we have local experts who are able to treat these conditions, but when you are engaged with the other stakeholders from international, we are able to learn from each other. Transfer school learn what they do best in their country, also they learn from us what we do best in our country. And together then we see how best we help our patients. So it's a win-win situation. We learn from them, also learn from us.
One of the urologists from Jordan is Murad Muhammad.
The outcome will be very good for this patient. I hope our visit here that make a changes in the life of those patients, the local physician here to gain much experience from our representatives.
The 5-day urological surgery camp has attended about 40 urological related cases. Rodoviko Nyirenda, MBC News, Mzuzu.
Technical Entrepreneur and Vocational Education Training Authority, TVETA, says government is keen at promoting skills development in the country as a driver of employment creation, productivity and poverty reduction. Speaking in Zachitika after presenting certificates to 56 young men and women who have graduated with different vocational skills, TVETA Board Chairperson Gilbert Chilinde called on local artisans to make high-quality products for both local and international markets. Chiwami Lero reports.
Through the informal apprenticeship program, Chitiba-based Kama Community Skills Development Center, in collaboration with TVETA, has graduated 42 trainees that have successfully completed their 6-month training in tailoring and fashion design, and 14 have acquired welding and fabrication skills. After presenting the certificates to the graduates, TVETA Board Chairperson Gilbert Chilinde said Malawi needs a highly skilled population to produce high-quality products.
It is only when those who can demand the products, they are happy with them, that we can sell bigger quantities to the clients who can come for them. But if our products are of low quality, in the market you can't get a client. It's an open secret.
Speaking on behalf of the community, Senior Chief Maulambia encouraged the graduates to start their own businesses and particularly encouraged young women to venture into male-dominated trades.
Once we engage them and tell them that they can do anything like men can do, I'm sure they'll go in there. I am particularly very happy with the two girls who have taken up welding, and I would like to see one way or the other how I can assist or source sponsors who can help those two ladies.
Program Manager for Tembi Community Initiative, one of the key partners in youth empowerment in the district, Patrick Ziwa, said their vision is to see more young people in Chitipa become self-reliant.
Our vision is like want to empower our community, especially young people. We know sometimes maybe these young people, they just maybe lucky to have equip skills and then maybe a capital. So as organizations, it's otherwise to give them skills at the same time to support the administrator to start their own business. And possibly maybe next month also having the trainings for entrepreneurship training.
The skills training program is designed to meet local needs and empower the community economically. Tembi Community Initiative, in partnership with Tiveta, provided startup capital to the graduates. Chemwemwe Milulu, MBC News, Chitipa.
And now moving on to sports, the Netball Association of Malawi, NAM, has appointed New Zealand coach Debbie Fuller as a high-performance consultant for the Malawi national netball team, the Queens. The move forms part of Malawi's netball strategic build-up to the 2026 Commonwealth Games and the 2026 Africa Netball Cup as the association strengthens high-performance structures. Our sports reporter, Norbert Jameson, joins us live for more details. Hello, Norbert.
Hello, Peter.
So tell us, what do you make of this development?
I think it's a good move for the future of Malawi netball, considering that all the top coaches locally have been tried. I wouldn't say they have failed, but I think it's time to cast the net wider and bring in other ideas from somewhere else. Debbie Fuller, very experienced. She brings tons of experience from her time with where she worked with New Zealand national netball team as assistant coach for about 8 years.
Yes.
And she's been around netball for 25 years. So I think we're going to get something out of this development, bringing her here. It's also going to be an opportunity for local coaches to learn from her, because when she comes in later this month, we understand she's going to recruit her own team of assistant coach as well as team manager and physiotherapist. Yes. So there will be lots of lessons from our local coaches to learn from her. The only question would be, is 1 year enough for her to turn things around?
Yes.
So we'll see how that works.
All right, now moving on to the Castile Cup. We hear there were some ugly incidences at yesterday's game between FC Binyasa Big Bullets and Mzuzu City Hammers.
Yes,
what happened?
At halftime, we saw a football fan invading the pitch and going on to pour some liquid onto the Mzuzu City Hammers goalkeeper when the players were walking off the pitch to the dressing rooms. Fortunate enough, he was apprehended by the security personnel.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we saw some football fans, also alleged Bullets fans.
Yes.
They went on to confront the security personnel to release the guy, the culprit, and exchange of words, a bit of a fight between the two parties. Eventually, the culprit escaped, which is not good for the development of the game.
Yes.
But we expect the Football Association of Malawi to come in as soon as possible to bring the culprits to book, especially those responsible.
All right, and we understand there were concerns to do with gate fraud as well.
Yes, we understand the Football Association of Malawi printed only 2,600 tickets for the semi-final match between Bullets and Hammers. And then by 2 o'clock, the tickets had run out.
Yes.
So people were walking into the stadiums, they were paying at the gates, and that man was unaccounted for.
Yes.
Lots of people entered the stadium. I expected something around 30 to 40 million kwacha to be realized at the end of the match, but we had only 19 million kwacha was generated, which is very unfortunate as well.
Very unfortunate indeed. All right, Norbert, thank you very much for joining us live this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that item brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. But before we leave, here's a recap of our top stories. First Lady, Madam Professor Gertrude Mutarika, launches the Muslim World League Orphan Allowance Program, describing it as timely and necessary. Government reaffirms its commitment to working with traditional leaders for enhanced socio-economic development of the country. And in sports, Netball Association of Malawi appoints New Zealand coach Debbie Fuller as a high-performance consultant for the Malawi national netball team. Keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You are with me, Opile Kaisa. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.